Right, let's talk about something incredibly American, right up there with putting cheese on everything and pretending imperial measurements make sense. I'm talking about lobbying. Now, the basic idea sounds almost quaint, doesn't it? A group of concerned citizens gets together to lobby or try to persuade their elected officials to care about an issue they're passionate about. It's democracy in action, like a town hall meeting but with more expensive suits and significantly fewer people asking about local parking regulations. Groups might lobby for anything, protecting endangered squirrels, promoting organic kale, or ensuring the continued baffling existence of daylight saving time. It's a fundamental part of the political process, a way for voices to be heard in the grand, noisy concert hall of government. The thing is, while the concept seems straightforward, the reality can get a little complicated. Imagine you're trying to get a politician's attention. You could write a heartfelt letter, which might get read by an intern who's also trying to order their boss's lunch. Or, you could show up with a briefcase full of what politicians seem to love most: campaign donations. This is where the whole system gets a bit murky. When certain groups have vastly more resources than others, their voices don't just get heard, they get amplified through a taxpayer-funded megaphone. This dynamic shifts the landscape from a citizens' forum to more of a high-stakes auction, where influence can be bought and sold. And it's not just domestic groups playing this game. Foreign governments and interests also get in on the act, hiring powerful firms to represent them in the halls of Congress. They do this because decisions made in Washington, D.C. have massive ripple effects across the globe. Whether it's a trade deal, a military alliance, or a diplomatic statement, what happens in the U.S. doesn't stay in the U.S. So, naturally, other countries want to have a say. They want to ensure that American policies align with their own national interests. And they are more than willing to spend a significant amount of money to make sure their perspective is front and center when key decisions are being made. This brings us to the fascinating and often controversial world of foreign interest lobbying. And when you talk about this topic, one name inevitably comes up, often spoken in either revered or frustrated tones: AIPAC, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee. It's an organization that has mastered the art of political influence so effectively that it has become a case study in how lobbying works, for better or for worse. It's a group that doesn't just participate in the political process, it actively shapes it, demonstrating the immense power that a well-organized, well-funded lobby can wield in the world's most powerful democracy. Understanding how it operates is crucial to understanding a significant slice of modern American politics. So, what exactly is AIPAC? Officially, the American Israel Public Affairs Committee is a lobbying group whose stated mission is to strengthen, protect, and promote the U.S.-Israel relationship. It describes itself as America's pro-Israel lobby, and for decades it has been remarkably effective at its job. Think of it as the most successful student in the class of how to win friends and influence politicians. It's officially nonpartisan, meaning it works with both Democrats and Republicans, aiming to build a broad base of support for its agenda that can withstand the changing tides of who controls the White House or Congress. This strategy has made it one of the most powerful and influential interest groups in Washington. AIPAC's influence is legendary in political circles. For a long time, its power wasn't primarily about direct campaign donations. Instead, it built its reputation on information, relationships, and the ability to mobilize a vast network of supporters across the country. A call from AIPAC carried weight. They provided lawmakers with detailed briefings, policy papers, and talking points, ensuring that the pro-Israel narrative was always accessible and well-articulated. They organized conferences that drew in top-tier politicians from both sides of the aisle, all eager to stand on a stage and profess their unwavering support for the U.S.-Israel alliance. It was a masterclass in soft power, building a consensus so strong that it became the default position for most of Washington. The goal has always been crystal clear: to ensure that the United States remains Israel's strongest ally, providing robust financial, military, and diplomatic support. And the numbers speak for themselves. Israel is the largest cumulative recipient of U.S. foreign aid since World War II, having received over $150 billion. AIPAC works tirelessly to ensure that aid packages pass through Congress with overwhelming majorities, to support sanctions against nations it deems a threat to Israel, like Iran, and to oppose international resolutions critical of Israeli government policies. Its success has been so profound that its influence is often seen as a given, an unshakable pillar of American foreign policy. However, in recent years there's been a significant shift in AI PAC's strategy. Facing a changing political landscape and a small but growing number of voices in Congress willing to criticize Israeli policies, the organization decided to get its hands a bit dirtier. It moved from primarily indirect influence to becoming a major force in direct electoral politics. It formed its own political action committees, or PACs, allowing it to pour millions of dollars directly into campaigns, both to support allies and perhaps more importantly, to defeat critics. This move transformed AI PAC from a powerful influencer into a formidable electoral juggernaut, one that candidates now have to actively reckon with if they want to get elected or re-elected. Alright, let's follow the money because in politics that's often the quickest way to get to the point. AI PAC's recent dive into the world of direct campaign spending has been, to put it mildly, impactful. For the 2024 election cycle, the organization and its affiliates announced plans to spend a staggering $100 million. That's not a typo. $100 million. That's enough money to buy a private jet, a small island, or, as it turns out, a significant amount of political influence. This spending isn't just a drop in the bucket, it's a tidal wave of cash designed to reshape the political landscape on one specific issue. This money flows through a couple of channels, primarily AI PAC's own PAC, and a super PAC called the United Democracy Project, or UDP. While the main PAC donates directly to candidates, the super PAC can spend unlimited amounts of money on things like TV ads and mailers, as long as it doesn't formally coordinate with the candidate's campaign, a legal distinction that, in practice, can feel a bit like a technicality. The funding for this massive war chest comes from a relatively small group of wealthy donors, including prominent billionaires and major contributors to both the Republican and Democratic parties. This allows AI PAC to project immense financial power in races across the country. The strategy is brutally